Welcome back to the Inner Edge Coaching Podcast, the show where we cut through the noise of fitness, coaching, and lifestyle so you can perform at your best physically and mentally. I'm Chris Jones, a physio, an apprentice professional coach, and a man over 40 figuring out how to stay strong, sharp, and unstoppable. This week, I've got the privilege of being joined by Jordan Awale, owner of JVA Physio. He's a physio by background, and the clever clogs has only just got his MSc in his masters in strength and conditioning. So I wanted him to get on the show because of his background, because of all the amazing work that he's been doing in sports and physio, and his Instagram is all about calling bullshit on fitness. Calling bullshit on fake news in the fitness and health space. If you're not following him, then you should be. We met at uni, but Jordan, I'll pass this over to you really. Can you give us a little bit more insight into your background?
Yeah, of course, obviously, we met each other at uni in the same group. Surprisingly, even though I'm a Wolves fan and you're a Villa fan, we ended up being good mates. Don't know how that
Yeah,
worked.
yeah.
Relegated, we're irrelevant to you now. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, um, but yeah, we kind of just like similar interests and stuff. But like, yeah, through that, my background, like, so, always been sporty growing up. I think that's probably that was the pull of being a physio, and had a competed in boxing at a half decent ish level, I guess. But like from that, I've always still been involved in the sport, still coach in it, and it kind of like a lot of the values can kind of transcend into everyday life. Yeah, pretty much that's that. So essentially, I'm a physio, does a bit of boxing coach on the side, and used to get hit in the head a lot. Probably got CTE.
Oh, well, look, how did you get into physio, like, and working in sport?
Yeah, so with physio, like people ask this all the time. I'm kind of it happened, but like I think like I said, I was always sporty, a bit nerdy, um, and then like kind of it combined the two. Like I feel like I wasn't clever enough to like go med school and go like that full clever route, but physio worked well for me, and I liked the activity, the physical and exercise side of things of it, and sort of suggestion from friends and family. My mom actually, my mom worked in the NHS, and she was like, "What have you ever looked into physio?" And then I sort of thought about it. I did my A levels. I had like a year out working part time, like jobs in a shop and stuff. And then when I applied after that little gap year, I guess, of just figuring it out, I was like, yeah, just go for like try physio. And like yeah, I don't know what else. Honestly, I don't know what else I do. I'm rubbish at. I'm not really handy. Like all I'm good at is like sporty things and some element of nerdy science stuff. So yeah,
It was perfect for you, mate.
yeah,
I think that's one of the things, isn't it? Like, physio's very sort of practical, and if you're into sports and you're into like learning practically, I think that's why I fell into it because it was
yeah.
like I liked sports, but I was shit at them. So like I
So,
got to watch them. I got to watch sport and like just mess about with their legs and be like, yeah, you're
yeah,
fixed now, trap off.
yeah.
I, like I think I know like you've been into boxing and all that sort of stuff like and I'm sort of interested around like what did the boxing background teach you about training and discipline?
Like many things really. Essentially, if I could sum it up, as was a quote actually that just someone told it me or someone or I read it. So like, but a coach or someone said it to me, and it was always like people always think that you rise to the occasion when it comes, but you actually rise to level of your training. Um, that's always stood with me, and I kind of feel like I've used that in my everyday life and professional life. So like, if you're working pitch side as a traumatic incident or something, like if you're well trained in that, you kind of will be calm under pressure. And yeah, I think with it, and like that's like even like just everyday life. If you're stressed in life and you don't know how to have like good life skills with coping mechanisms and X, Y, Z, um, you're never going to rise to the occasion of what you're throwing. It's kind of like you'll rise to what you're accustomed to, really. And I think that's the key thing that's always told me, just the discipline and consistency always wins as well in anything. And again, these are all things that you can kind of like apply to everyday life.
Yeah, sort of falling back on those standards, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
holding your standards high and then falling back on those.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. suppose when you look at like falling back at those sort of standards and stuff, I'm sort of interested around like people think that sort of athletes are built different and that their standards are different. Like, but what would you say is the biggest difference between athletes and the general population?
Like mostly luck, if I'm really honest, and that's not like a hater thing. Like sometimes people just make it, some people don't, but they are often normal. They're just consistent with something they did, and lots of things in life have helped them because they've got good family support and like pushed into, say, a footballer pushed into an academy and then got spotted X Y Z. I think that's in terms of just like personalities. Depending on the area you work in, you naturally gravitate, certain personalities will gravitate to certain sports or um, just like jobs. But like they're all normal for like within reason. Like it's just they're because they're so all in on this thing. They are in a bit of a bubble, and they sometimes their life skills aren't good in other things because they've been groomed to be like a footballer or a dancer or an athlete. Yeah, like so. But otherwise, mostly they're normal. It's just they're probably not good patients like the general pop because they want like fixed now. Like there's less patience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're not good patients because they haven't got patience.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Uh,
And depending
I,
on
s-
where you're at, they need to be wrapped up in cotton wool a little bit more for obvious
yeah.
reasons. Because yeah,
I suppose like with you saying it's down to like consistency as well, isn't it? Like in terms of where you were saying there around their luck. It's around their luck is because they just keep turning up at
yeah,
that point sort of thing,
yeah.
isn't it?
So that's like that quote where it's like the more you sweat, the luckier you get.
Yeah.
It is literally literally that. There's many factors into it, but um, yeah, I think that's the one thing. They're just consistent and they're kind of good at doing the same boring thing every single hour of every single day at the same intensity over and over again. I think that's what like it's like when, like I said, when you rise to your level of training, when it matters on a pitch or on a performance or something, it's like routine. It's just second nature. They haven't got to think about it. They just do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I suppose there's something in there around like they get paid to do it as well. So like,
Yeah,
like you can't really compare your training, like the general population training against professional athletes because they're getting paid to do it.
yeah.
Like, uh,
Think of a
so
football warm up. How long it takes. I'm turning up at 5 aside, 2 minutes before.
yeah, quick quick stretch to the hamstring and then you're off.
Yeah, and a sprint on the spot, and then I'm ready. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, the thing is as well, look, there's no insurance policy for you. Like,
yeah, yeah. Exactly.
yeah, so you know that the Inner Edge, this podcast is aimed at men over 30. So I'm actually interested on your thoughts around what actually changes for men over 30 physically once they hit 30.
Well, it's quite obvious, like biologically for the most part, everyone's timeline's different, but essentially there'll be a certain point as you go along your 30s, things like uh, muscle mass, if you don't keep it up, could start to reduce. Testosterone levels as well. Again, these are all things that can be maintained with like good lifestyle habits. But like as the saying goes, father time catches up with everyone. But there is ways to maintain it. I think the issue is probably more like just life is up with you, and that's what affects you. So people settle down and get kids, have families, work, more responsibilities. So it's like either more of a mental drain, they need more downtime. There's just less time to train, and it's harder to make time to meal prep, make time to do your mobility workout and your strength work and your cardio and all the rest of it. Because you've got to like I don't know, put the bins out or you got to like cook for the family or go shopping. It's all these. I think they're the things that probably people don't realise. It's not just. It's probably like societal things as well.
Yeah. So like I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like like you say, the pressures of being a man over 30, it all changes, doesn't it? You have got family, you have got like the financial pressures of sort of having to supply for the family, and like you've got to go and do the bins and all that sort of stuff, and like the pressures around that. So, like, your training sort of changes then as well, doesn't it? Um, what are the biggest mistakes that you see men making in their training?
I would say one, no patience, and like probably two, like an all or nothing boom and bust cycle. So, and to be fair, I say this as a hypocrite because I'm probably like, I will say I'm proud of myself. Like only in the recent months, time will tell if I stay good. But like,
Yeah.
it's very easy to just be like, oh, I want to be like how I was in my 20s. Go all out first week of training, your body breaks down, and then you're
Yeah.
like, got some muscle niggle, some injury, and you're like deconditioned because you've got to rest a bit to let that heal, and then yeah, I think that's the one. Whereas in like recent months, what I will say is I've been better at just little bits over time, and that little bit of consistency as like kind of like got I'm all right now to be fair. Yeah, but time will tell.
Oh, mate, I feel that though. Honestly, I've got the same thing. Like, I still think to myself, I can train like I'm in my 20s and stuff, and I'm like, I can't. Like,
Yeah,
I tried like a few weeks ago doing the same routine that I was doing, and it killed me. And I was like,
yeah,
what am I doing?
yeah. You just can't. Yeah,
You can't keep up with it. Like the recovery side of things, like,
I
it
think
just
that's the
took
key
me
for
longer.
me is the recovery. Like that's the one key thing for sure. I think you just
Yeah,
need to. I will like I'd do like a night out and do a workout before or even after on no sleep. But like now, if there's some like if there's a social thing, I'm not gonna be like nah, I'm gonna turn into a monk. But if that I'll go out. But then I just know I can't train because something will pull when I'm just sleep deprived or fatigued or something like yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So accept that, and you kind of save the battle for another day.
yeah. I think so. My next question was like, why do so many men either stop training or get injured at this stage?
Yeah, I think yeah, it's literally that. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
recovery is so important, man. Like honestly, like, and it's just sleep and good diet can take you a long way. Two
yeah,
things which, when you're on the go and busy, is quite hard. And like I said, sometimes I'll turn up at 5 aside 2 minutes before, probably rushing from work in the traffic. Might get a McDonald's coffee on the way at the drive-through. If I'm low on sugar, I'll grab the brownie as well. And then you play 5 aside with minimum stretching. Like it's that kind of thing.
yeah. So, like you say, like if we're thinking about like training smarter at this age, like over 30s, over 40s, if a man in his 30s wants to get fit again, where should he start?
Don't like think of all of these things that you need to get better at. I need to get like stronger legs, cardio, sprinting, all of that. I think like pick two or three main ones, hone in on the first one. That's like out of those top three, and then just microdose your way to addressing that. Then the others you can focus on. So, for example, you want to get stronger legs. Let's just work on some consistent leg days, and you haven't got to max out. Just do it over easy sessions over like a few months. Once you feel you're in a good place, then you can kind of focus on, oh, I want to up my cardio. In at low level cardio, keep the leg work easy, ticking in the background, but not intense. Gradual cardio, and eventually consistent for a couple of months, and then that's kind of it'll all come together. And then after those first two or three, you can then focus your attention on something else. It sounds very boring, and I guess it is, because essentially, if I said if you've only got time to do one set of squats a week, then just do that, and eventually, after about 2 3 months, it will be stronger. It will be better. Just doesn't sound sexy. You can't sell that.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, though, isn't it? Like, so what you said, like, it's habit stacking, isn't it? It's like it's making sure
mm,
that you're nailing one thing, and then it's putting another thing that you can do once you've got the consistency, putting that on top of that. Um, but yeah, like when you are thinking about like having that consistency, it's nailing the basics first. Like, but
yeah,
I think Instagram sort of tells you. you've got to do all this all at once, otherwise it's not going to work. And like you say, it's not sexy, so people like fall off it and they don't do it, and it becomes overcomplicated, and then they lose motivation behind it, don't they?
Yeah. And
So
then like the injuries happen as well, don't they, as a result? And then you kind of back to square one, and then you lose the motivation again, and you're like, yeah.
yeah, and that's where
So,
that
so
boom
then you
bust
get stuck in
cycle
that
comes back
cycle.
in.
Yeah, and you're just stuck in the cycle, aren't you?
Yeah. So what does a well-rounded training week look like now versus in their 20s? What would you say?
So for me, obviously, as well, when I was boxing, sometimes there'd be like 2 sessions a day. There's no time for that, like, yeah. But to me, I personally will train like 4 days a week. If I get a fifth one in, that's a bonus. But I don't think anything, unless I go to the weightlifting club, which I do, um, and that's not because time again, I can't make every session. Outside of that one, that's a 2 hour session. Every other session's like an hour. So essentially, it's like I personally do like a full body strength day twice. So like I do bilateral and unilateral. So think shoulder press, squat, two, like upper body, two are moving, squatting, two are moving, and then like say unilateral. So it'll be like single arm stuff, and then like say a split squat. So you're kind of training up and body, and then obviously there's some core in there, but essentially not many exercises. I'm not overdoing it, and then I've got like a 5k run on the other
Okay.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you're
So
getting you're getting the strength in and you're getting the cardio in as well.
yeah, and just separating it a bit. Yeah. So a couple of strength, a couple of cardio generally. Like I said, if I go to the weightlifting club, it's a bit easier because you're kind of being coached, and someone's obviously make sure you don't push yourself as well to injury. So that's a 2 hour session. But again, because it's weightlifting, it does like upper and lower body. You kind of train a bit of everything. You are oftentimes if I have a heavy, if it's like an intense session, then I'll like not do another strength session or something. Yeah, just to fit it all in.
Yeah. It's looking after that recovery though as well, isn't it? Because like you say, it
Exactly
takes
that. Yeah.
sometimes it take as you get older, it takes a little bit more time to sort of recover from those like stronger sessions. One of the things that um, from personal training and from like my physio background, one of the things that I'd say is sort of um, not every session needs to be balls to the wall. Like in my
Literally. Yeah.
twenties, in my twenties, I was like trying to smash every PB every time I stepped into the gym, and like now I'm like I can't do that. Like and that's not even how like this shit works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what like one of the things that I sort of do is my fallback is if I can hit the gym 3 times a week, then that for me is like baseline. I'm like that's fine. Like total body movement, like if I can hit it 3 times, then that's a win. If fourth and fifth time, they're
They're the
bonus.
bonus for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the other thing as well
Okay.
is a deload. Actually, that's probably one thing I'd throw out there. Yeah. When you're
What's
having like
that?
a so literally keeping the intensity close to the same, but just probably reduce the volume. So you don't want to lose too much, but you want to just have an easier week or easier session. So, for example, my mate stag do was the other week. Completely like by Monday, I was still struggling from that stag do weekend. So I had a deload week. Everything I just did all my same workouts, just 2 sets of everything, and I did like my 5k runs was really slow. There was no, I just got it done at whatever time. I wasn't timing it. So that kind of thing. You don't want to detrain. It preserves something, but also you're not like just knackering yourself out.
Yeah, so you sort of done at a lower intensity to what you
Yeah,
would usually do, but you're getting it in.
yeah.
Yeah. So is that my next question was going to be, have you changed the way you train compared to when you were younger? But like from those answers, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Takes a few injuries to kind of make you understand that you have to.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you sort of learn from it though as well, don't you? Like I hated being injured and sort of I don't know whether I told you, like, I had some sort of neck injury and stuff, and it put me it took me out for like 12 months, 18 months where I couldn't
Ah,
do. Yeah, yeah. Um, and it's those sort of times where you're thinking, I can't. I want to get back to it because like for my mental health, for like my fitness and all that sort of stuff, and it's part of my identity and stuff.
Yeah,
So when I couldn't do it, it was one of those things where I was like, shit, like,
kind of get like aggy. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, but it gives me more appreciation for when I can do it. Like, so going through like the rehab side of things gives me more empathy for patients, give me more sort of um, more perspective on when I'm going through rehab to be able to come back and be like, I'm so appreciative that I can move my fucking body.
I think it's the pressure as well when you put pressure on yourself to like get back in the gym and stuff. But then like I realize you don't need to, and then when I have patients, I'm like, just do the bit, even if it's one session or a couple of sets a week. Start with that.
Yeah,
Don't put pressure on yourself to get better quickly.
yeah, yeah. Small bits often.
Yeah, we'll eventually build up in it. Yeah.
So, talking about patients, what are the most common injuries you see in men over 30? And I know that like you've got your you've a physio for boxing, you're a physio for dancers, physio for everything sports related. So, what are the most common injuries that you see in men over 30, mate?
Yeah, I think like, obviously from general population, I would either say backs. I think just backs commonly go anyway. And oftentimes it's when someone does some DIY or something big in the garden and like they've gone hell for leather at it and they probably weren't conditioned to do it. Or even if you've just got a manual job and they have like a heavier day than normal. And the other one, I'd say like tendons, or like muscle strains. Sort of what we're on about. Like for me personally, I had a calf injury about a year ago, like recurring calf injury. Every time I tried to step on it, run it would ping. Like now, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just happy to get my run done at a slow pace, kind of thing, and build up. I think that's the thing. Like I said earlier, talking about that boom and bust cycle, people just, I think they go hell for leather, balls to the wall, and then something pings, tendon or yeah, and like I said, easily done like 5-a-side with the lads as well. To be fair, like an Achilles, you land funny, or like yeah, pull your calf, pull your hammy. That's why it's just good to make sure if outside of your hobbies, you are just doing something just to keep you robust enough. You haven't got to be like have hamstrings like prime Carl Walker and sprinting down the gas. But yeah,
I thought you was going to say Jack Grealish then. The Villa reference. So that brings me on to how much of these injuries is avoidable.
it's probably a bit of a 50-50 thing really, because at the end of the day, also injuries are just bad luck. And I think that's the other thing I've tried to say to people, like when you see like these things on Instagram, are you a man in your 30s, are you a man in your 20s, are you a man in your 40s that has back pain, has knee pain and this, that and the other? Like sometimes people try and over medicalise things and say like, oh, your pelvis was a little bit aligned or you got a tiny scoliosis and this is why you've got XYZ injury. Sometimes it is just bad luck. I think that's like 50% of it is just bad luck, and the rest of it is just probably habits. Like I said, like overtraining oftentimes, or doing something you wasn't conditioned to do, and like not taking it easy. I think they're the common ways. So it's probably they're the two, like either just bad luck and then like overtraining / not being conditioned to do what you have to do.
So it's get in the gym, make sure that you're conditioning yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
as long as you're robust enough, you can trust that. Like you can sort your fence out, sort your garden out. You know what I mean? Like because your back. If your back's strong, it's not going to go on you.
right, I wanted to touch on your boxing and your athletic insight. Obviously, you're with the Birmingham Royal Ballet at the moment. You've got your boxing background. You've done football academies, so like you name it, you've done it. Um, what can everyday men learn from boxing or dancing training?
Like I think consistency. It is just doing the boring things repeatedly, and that will apply to everything in life. People don't often realize. I know it's a bit cliche when people say like make your bed, brush your teeth. These are things, but they're simple, boring things that, like you said earlier, habit stacking. That the dancers that I'm working with now, they literally just do the same class, pretty much the same routine every day. Do the little some of the little like the big jumps that you see on stage that are all fancy. That kind of comes at the end of class. They're doing like little basic just stretches and kicks and stuff at the start of class for like 45 minutes. And then when it's like an hour and a half class, it's only near the end I do like the big jumps because I want to add the little extra pizzazz to practice. But no, it's football. You still need to. You can't do anything if you can't control the ball and pass it first of all. So it's the basics. It's the same with boxing. If you got no feet and you can't jab, you forget trying to throw the overhand right.
Yeah, so that was my last question, Ryan. That was, is there something from elite sport that people overcomplicate? But like you said, I think it is sort of trying to do too much
Yeah,
and think that you've got to train like that, where it is just the basics.
yeah. I think social media doesn't help. I've seen in football academies there's boys practicing like they'll practice free kicks like normal, or they'll be doing some skills, but like oftentimes it's like boring basic free kicks just up and over a wall. Not I can't do that, but you know what I'm saying. Like up and over, up and over. As soon as there's like, oh, record me, they start recording these outside of the boots, hitting the valve, swerving the ball, and then saying like I've seen it in the boxing gyms. Guys will do the basic bag drills, which will get you conditioned, which will get you slick for when you perform. As soon as they need to promote something, promote a fight, get the camera out, they're ripping the bag with like 100 punch combinations. Um, I think the social media just isn't real life, and I think that's the thing we need to remember. Like everyone always shows the flashy side of things, not the boring basics, because it doesn't sell.
Yeah, yeah. It's that, isn't it? It's a comparison thing as well, isn't it? Like when you see it on social media, you think, oh, that's what I need to be doing. But
Yeah,
actually, the people that have got to the top have done the basics, and they've done the basics for longer, and they've done it for not consistently, really.
yeah, it's literally that. And I can say from personal experience, the current program I've been doing now, we're in April. I've been doing it since like January, and it's the same order of exercises, and the weight has gradually gone up, but I haven't pushed it because I'll push it if I need to over time. But I feel like I'm in half decent shape now, just from just little bits regularly. And that sounds really boring to people, but that's literally all it was.
Yeah, but that's it though. Like it is the boring basics. Like, and if you can nail the basics, then you can go on and try some of that other stuff. But know that
Yeah,
your body's
yeah,
robust enough to try it.
yeah.
Right. So, top three things every man over 30 should be doing weekly.
I think one, uh, however umbrella term you want to call it, like self care, time to
Yeah.
relax, recovery, like away from work and gym, you kind of just need to just chill out. That's important. I think two, have like a passion or a project or a hobby, whether it is like you want to learn a new language, you want to learn to play guitar, um, five aside with the lads, just something away from work and then like gym. Like if you're gonna go to the gym, like have a hobby that you want to physically make yourself fit for. And then three, I think yeah, just be consistent in a fitness routine. Crucially, yeah, we've mentioned all of this, but I think you need the fitness routine, you need good downtime, but you also need a hobby to switch off.
And I think those are the things like they're the basics, and if you're doing well, they pay off, don't they?
Yeah,
All right. So, quick fire questions for you, mate. One thing men over 30 should stop doing immediately.
over consuming alcohol.
Okay. Best book you've ever read.
Ooh, I like always a few. I've been reading Don Quixote actually. That's really fun. Yeah, it's like 1,000 pages long, but so far it's no one of the best books I've read so far. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's just funny. It's just funny, but it's meant to be the world's first novel. I do like Don Quixote. I'm like on page 800 now, so I haven't even finished it yet. But that's how big it is.
Okay, yeah, cool. So, best investment for health under £100.
um, good pair of running shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, best advice you've ever been given.
if in doubt, just always be there for people and be in service to others, and you'll always have someone to fall back on when you need help as well.
One thing you wish more men took more seriously earlier in life.
Um, Prioritizing the soft side, mental health, and just like have a mental health day, chill out, take it easy.
Ah, mate, I love that one. So, one exercise you secretly hate?
Plank. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, mate. Mine are split squats, hate them.
Yeah, that's probably a close second.
Yeah. What is your go-to training theme song?
The Rocky Four soundtrack album, and I've
Okay.
probably picked the one song "No Easy Way Out" from that.
Right, I'm gonna give that a listen. I don't know what that, that sounds like, so I'll have a listen to that. Right,
It's in the
if you had
title.
to, yeah. If you had to work with one celeb for a year, who would you pick?
Um, Usain Bolt. From like young, he's always fascinated me. And then obviously, side note, on that stag we all went to recently, he was in the club and he was friendly then. So I just feel like he seems to be a cool, friendly guy. I would love to have like, I imagine working with him would be even better. Like he's literally like you see on TV.
Yeah, he's styling, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
took our shots
mate,
though. We
yeah.
don't be for real yet, but mate, share shots of him. My only regret is I never shared that like on the physio, like just to
Yeah, yeah.
because I
I'm
could have been
so
living
honest
this
with you.
dream that you're asking of me now.
Yeah, yeah, you're like, actually, I'm working with him, mate. Um, right, so before we wrap up, I've got one last question, mate. Who in your network would be a great guest for this podcast?
um, our mate from uni, Jack,
Yeah,
currently on a transition more
yeah,
into working in golf. And I think he went from like the private physio route, also was like managing numerous clinics. He understands the corporate side and the corporate pressures, I guess, of a business. And then he's now finding a way to make a passion a job. Uh, yeah, I think it'd be good. You'll probably get good insights from him.
yeah,
I'll have
yeah.
to put pressure on him to jump on.
Yeah, yeah, please, mate. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
And it'd be lovely to speak to him again as well. Like,
yeah,
and obviously say congratulations about the baby on the way as well.
yeah, yeah,
Right. Oh, thank you so much, mate. Like, I've loved catching up with you before the podcast, but also just
yeah.
having
It's
you
been
on the
good, man.
podcast and getting your insights and stuff, mate. Yeah,
Hope I
a
haven't
lot
said
to
anything that
say.
will get us cancelled. Don't think I
I don't, I don't think so. We'll chop it up, mate. We'll edit it out
That's all right
anyways.
then. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. So
Nice
that
one.
has been the Inner Edge for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Um, I'll see you next week when we are talking to a professional coach and getting her perspective on how coaching can support men over 30 and why some men don't even think about getting coaching yet. So I'd also love to get your feedback on the show. This show is as much for you as it is for me. So drop a comment or a DM on Instagram at the Inner Edge Coach on topics that you want to bring in or for guests. I've got a few interviews lined up, but hopefully we can get Jack on as well. But until next time, keep pushing, stay consistent, and keep finding your inner edge.